Hey, and welcome back. In our final segment, this is a special weekend for me. First, before I tell you about my special weekend, let me tell you my joke. I usually give a joke of the week on the show regularly. If you miss them, you're missing some great jokes. Here's my joke of the week. Guy pulls into a gas station. The attendant comes up, and there's five penguins in the back seat of the car. And the attendant says, "Where did you get those penguins?" And the driver says, "Man, I don't know. I stopped back a few blocks away and they just jumped in the back seat of the car. I don't know what to do." And the attendant says, "Well, why don't you take them to the zoo?" And the fellow says, "That's a great idea. I'll take them to the zoo." Next week, same guy pulls into the car. The penguins are still with him. This time they've got sunglasses on. And the attendant says, "What happened? I thought I told you to take them to the zoo." And the driver says, "I did. We had a wonderful time. Today we're going to the beach." You like that one? That's my joke of the week. I'm in a little lighter mood here on the website and on the show this weekend. It's my birthday. On this weekend, I'll be 77 years old. Do I look 77? Go ahead and tell me honestly. Raise your hand if you think I look 77. Don't feel 77. I try to take care of myself, but it still is a milestone in your life as you move on up to those upper years. A lot of my friends aren't around anymore, so I try to take care of myself, watch what I eat. On a pretty strict diet at my age. You know, as you get older, you can make a choice to keep eating those big steaks and those desserts. I love ice cream and so many things along that line. But you just have trade-offs, my trade-offs are my grandkids. When those grandkids hang out with me, I say, gosh, I want to be around to see them graduate from college. And that's why I've got to use a little common sense. I use a high-protein diet. I watch the bad carbs. The white rule is a very basic rule. The Sugar Busters diet started by doctors down at Oscar Clinic down in New Orleans, down where I live. And the rule of thumb is stay away from anything white sugar, white rice, anything that's white along that line, and stay on to the browns, to the brown rice, brown pasta, not white pasta. Watch your milk intake, fat-free milk. I like, by the way, you kind of get hooked on some of these things, I find. When you look at the substitutes, initially think, oh, well, I'm giving up what I like. But all of a sudden, almond milk or coconut milk ends up tasting pretty good, particularly on cereals, depending on what you use it on. I've gotten hooked on stevia. I carry stevia around with me in a little bag, and I use that to fix my tea. Caffeine is a little bit of a problem for me. Maybe not for a lot of older people, but for me, I've got a little plaque buildup. So I carry some tea bags around. Most restaurants are very willing to bring you a big glass of ice and a hot water pitcher, and you kind of make your own tea there, decaffeinated tea. I carry decaffeinated tea with me wherever I go. Works out pretty good. So you can make some adaptions with what you eat. Watch your quantities, cut down your quantities, basically watch your sweets, look for various substitutes. They got some great machines now where you can put fruit into the machine and smash it up, and it comes out to where it tastes almost like ice cream. The banana base is the way you do it. I try to eat that a couple of times a week. I'm hooked on popcorn, but you can get the low-fat popcorn. All these things you can learn as you deal with your diet, and they're not so much basic things that you do when you're older, but I think after about 40, you kind of use some minimization in lots of those areas. And then, of course, getting regularly tested. I go to my doctor. My doctor's name is Bubba. You got to be a little careful when you got a doctor named Bubba. He keeps a good eye on me, though, with blood testing. And as you get older, if you check a little bit, get on the internet and see what are the blood tests I should be taking that normally they don't check and monitor. Lipotine A, for example, if you've got any heart problems in your family, Lipotine A is a blood test that tells you about genetics. Are you genetically inclined to have some heart or liver problems? And most doctors won't give you a test for Lipotine A unless you ask for it. I asked for it, and I found some genetic history that leads me to believe for my children too, we ought to take care of ourselves a little better. So those are just some tips from you as I get into my birthday weekend. I'm going sailing, enjoying some great weather. We've had some terrible rain this week all over the country. Hope wherever you are, you have a great weekend. I hope you listen to my Sunday radio show here on the Genesis Communication Network. Take care and have a great weekend.